there guys, it's Tansy here. Hope you're doing well. So today I'm coming to you with a video about organic and natural methods of insect repellent and insect control, pest control. So because we're going so big this season with so many crops, and the crops that we are planting are a lot of fruiting crops, obviously berries and chilies and stuff, and they do attract a lot of insects. And what we don't really want is to be spraying insecticide all the time. Not only is it bad for you, bad for the environment, but it's also stops you from harvesting. So every time you spray, you have to have the wait period after you spray insecticide, and so that basically cuts down on harvesting time. So yeah, it's quite an inconvenience to have to spray insecticides, although sometimes when you get big infestations you have to. But so yeah guys, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to go through with you some of the methods. I think I might make this actually a two-part video, because there's going to be two different methods that we're going to be trying. And the first method is going to be planting. We're planting flowers and herbs that have kind of known properties, some disputed but some known properties as well, of repelling insects and also attracting positive bugs. Then the second method we're going to do is going to be like a DIY insect trap. So something that's really not harmful to the environment, something that we can reuse, something that can be out here, and it's quite easy and quite cheap little method that I've discovered. So hopefully that'll work as well. So this is really actually going to be a trial for us as well, guys. We're going to see, because we've never really companion planted that much, and we've never really companion planted in order to repel insects. The last time that we planted the Cape gooseberries, we were attacked, devastatingly attacked, almost fatally attacked by cucumber beetles. And so we're really trying to do as much as we can naturally and organically to kind of prevent that. And today's video is me showing you what we're going to be planting, companion planting along most of the crops, just to kind of deter insects, and also talk about how and why they're known to deter the insects. Okay, let's get started guys. So yeah guys, we're going to really want to be trying to protect the Cape gooseberries this year with natural methods, and this is actually a drip line. So we're going to be weeding on these sections, and then we're going to be planting the marigolds in this section here, kind of maybe making like a border that goes along. So guys, here we have a tansy. These were actually store-bought. See, these were actually store-bought. Because I've had a really hard time. I've been having trouble finding any seeds for it locally, so I went to the plant store in our area and I picked up some. They only had a few. So these have been planted now for about I'd say a month. They've grown. They were pretty much seedlings, and now they've grown up, and I expect them to grow quite tall. So I basically did a bit of research about the tansy, and it's supposed to be quite a good general insect repellent, deterring many non-nectar eating insects. It's reported that it will repel wasps, Japanese beetles, striped cucumber beetles, which is our biggest problem, squash bugs, sugar ants, mice even, fleas and moths. And they actually supposed to attract honeybees. Now the one thing with tansies is that even though they were used once for culinary purposes, as to eat, and also medicinal, they've come to find out that it's actually quite a toxic plant. So it's something that if you've got grazing sheep or cattle or anything like that, any animals that graze, it's better for them not to plant this, because it'll be quite toxic to them. But for our purposes it's fine. As you see, again, we've planted them on the gooseberry field, at the tips of at the top of the line where the drip has a bit of space, so they can get a constant supply of water and grow, not encumber anything, and then hopefully kind of end up with a bit of a border. And there wasn't enough tansies for me to buy enough to fill the entire area, and that would be quite a lot. I would prefer to buy seed if I was going to do that anyway. So instead I've discovered that something that is native to South Africa as well, which is something called the Afrikaner stinkerbloem. Stinkerbloem. Okay guys, so another thing that we're going to be planting this year is basil. Now we've planted this pretty much every year, and we didn't really realise its properties as an insect repellent. We actually were growing it just for the herb's sake. But it's actually known to be quite an effective insect repellent, and so I thought that it could be something that we could plant alongside other things, and plant it in a strategic way as well that could help us to kind of use its potential as an insect repellent. So the good thing about basil is that it does actually attract butterflies, and it's supposed to repel aphids, asparagus beetles, mosquitoes, tomato hornworms and whiteflies. So there's a few things there that it says that it's supposed to repel. So hopefully what we'll do is actually I'll show you inside the net, and I'll show you where we're thinking of planting it as to kind of be a protective border. So basically guys, we're going to be hedging our bets with a few different types of methods of insect control, organic insect control. The one good thing that I will say is that even if they aren't that good at repelling insects, they do attract insects, and they do attract ladybugs, and ladybugs are great at killing eating the eggs of the flies. So the one thing I will say is that they're actually good at attracting positive insects that actually help control the bad insects. So things like ladybugs, which are great for what we really want to use them for, which is eating the eggs of the cucumber beetle. So, and even if to the point where the insects would prefer to eat them than our fruiting crops, it's fine by us. As long as they do something, we'll be happy with that. So guys, yeah, next I'll just show you the planting process and when they're fully in bloom. So guys, we've just completed the majority of our pepper field. So this is the serranos. Over there we've got some sweet peppers and some paprika. And then over here we're going to have jalapenos. They're quite small still. And these are basically the last line that was planted. And then some older jalapenos there. And then we've got just like a line or two, bit of odd job line over there because of some plants that we had from last season that we tried to plant. So yeah guys, my hope is to either companion plant in between the plants, but they're quite close together, so maybe I might plant slightly out, or maybe I'll just choose to plant as a border. Another option I do have is, you see where this grass is basically where the sprinkler lines go, and we could actually just weed that area and put them there as well. So there's a couple of options on planting and spacing with the marigolds, so we're going to see what we decide. So the guys now are just busy fertilizing, doing some side dressing for the chilies. But yeah guys, in here, so we have majority of peppers. It's basically all peppers in here, from the habaneros on the ground to the jalapenos, serranos, paprika and sweet peppers. So we've had spinach on the outside of the net for quite a while now. We're going to pull it. I'm actually going to sell it for Christmas locally, you know, nice kind of like a cheap deal for the local people. But in the place of that, we're going to put the basil here, I think. So we might do a kind of combination of basil and marigolds up this line, basically creating a border, an insect repellent border, we hope. And we're going to do it around the entire net, so that hopefully we can repel some insects, as well as grow some tasty herb, because we do use the herbs. We sell the herb and we use the herb as well. So hopefully, yeah guys, this will turn out well, and we can end up growing herbs for use and for sale, as well as keeping the rest of the crops protected.